the Cincinnati Bengals might be making a big move. Jake Browning has not played well in the first games, and Joe Burrow is still dealing with his injury. Because of this, the team is now looking for another quarterback. A new report says the Bengals could go after Russell Wilson, the veteran quarterback who was just benched in New York. He's 36 years old and already has a Super Bowl win. Before we go deeper into this news, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss any fresh Bengals updates. Your support helps keep this Bengals community strong. Back to the story. Browning has thrown 5 interceptions and lost the ball a few times in only 2 games. Last week's loss to the Vikings was one of the worst in team history, and his mistakes played a big part. The Bengals usually like younger players, but a proven winner like Wilson could change their mind. The big question is, would signing him save the season or bring more problems? The Bengals are a young team, and yes, a veteran quarterback like Russell Wilson brings years of experience. But the truth is, Cincinnati's issues go far beyond one position. Joe Burrow could be out for 3 months or more, yet adding Wilson isn't a quick fix. The entire roster needs to step up: offense, defense, and special teams. Sunday's game proved it. Missed tackles, sloppy drives, and poor execution showed that this isn't just about the man under center. One major concern stands out: the offensive line. Fans have heard it before, but it's still a problem. Pass protection has been weak all season. Stats and the eye test both tell the same story: whoever plays quarterback is facing heavy pressure on almost every snap. Even a mobile veteran like Wilson would struggle behind this line, especially at 36 years old. So while a new quarterback might give a small spark, the Bengals can't expect one signing to fix everything. Until the offensive line improves and the whole team cleans up mistakes, no single player will save the season. Everything on offense starts with the big men up front. If the offensive line doesn't open lanes, the run game never gets moving, and that hurts every part of the attack. Right now, the Bengals' rushing plan is stuck in neutral. Chase Brown has talent and burst, but without holes to hit, even the best backs can't change the game. Think about it: if the line keeps collapsing, any quarterback, whether it's Jake Browning, Joe Burrow when healthy, or a veteran like Russell Wilson, will face the same pressure and end up with the same ugly numbers. That's a scary thought for a team with playoff hopes. This week, the line simply has to lock in, study film, and clean up mistakes. One bad game can happen, but a second straight disaster could derail the season. The Russell Wilson question: yes, Wilson still believes in himself. After being benched in New York, he said, "I'm not done. I know what I can do, and I can help a team win." That confidence is exactly what you want from a veteran. But the numbers tell another story. In 3 games, he's completed just 59% of his throws, with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, a quarterback rating around 76. Those aren't the stats of a surefire savior. At 36, Wilson's mobility isn't what it once was. Maybe this year's struggles are only a small slump, but there's no guarantee he can suddenly lift the Bengals. Bringing him in might spark a short run, but it won't fix blocking issues or jumpstart the run game. Until the offensive line improves, no quarterback can carry this team on his own. Fans are already calling for Jake Browning to sit, and the numbers explain why. In just 2 starts he's thrown 5 interceptions, which simply isn't good enough for a playoff-caliber team. To be fair, 3 of those picks came when he was thrown into action late against the Jaguars, and he still managed a gutsy game-winning drive that night. That shows toughness and a little spark. But in last Sunday's loss, he never found a rhythm. Some of that was on the offensive line and play calling, but Browning also missed throws he has to make. Because of that, talk of bringing in Russell Wilson keeps growing. The idea isn't completely far-fetched. Wilson would walk into a huddle that already has weapons: Chase Brown's speed, T. Higgins' size, and tight end Mike Gesicki's steady hands. Surrounded by that talent, maybe the veteran could squeeze out one more strong run. Money won't be the obstacle. Wilson's current deal is heavy on performance bonuses. Reports say he could make up to about $10.5 million, but most of that only kicks in if he plays well. With the Bengals carrying roughly $28 million in cap space, they can afford him without hurting future moves. And if he's earning every incentive, it likely means the Bengals are winning and pushing for the playoffs. The real question is risk. Wilson is 36, coming off a shaky start in New York. Can he still escape pressure and deliver big throws? If the answer is yes, Cincinnati could have a short-term solution. If not, they'd be no better off than they are now. The decision comes down to whether the front office believes this veteran spark is worth the gamble. Signing a veteran quarterback might sound exciting, but rushing into a deal right now isn't the smartest play. The Bengals have bigger problems to solve first, and everyone knows where it starts: the offensive line. Head coach Zach Taylor has to make that unit his top priority. If the blocking stays as shaky as it's been, this offense simply can't function. It doesn't matter if the quarterback is Jake Browning, Russell Wilson, or even a fully healthy Joe Burrow. No one can succeed when they're running for their life every snap. Sure, there might be quarterbacks who could perform a little better than Browning, and no one's saying he's the long-term answer. But fans shouldn't expect anyone to put up Burrow-level numbers behind the current protection. Burrow is a rare talent who creates plays even when the pocket collapses, and that's hard to duplicate. Until Cincinnati's offensive line tightens up, both in pass blocking and in opening holes for the run game, every other move is just a distraction. The path back to winning starts with the big men up front. Get that right, and everything else, including the quarterback question, will be much easier to solve. Jake Browning's style is built on extending plays, slipping away from pressure, keeping his eyes downfield, and trying to create something out of nothing. But when the pocket collapses as quickly as it has, even that skill can only do so much. If the offensive line isn't fixed soon, fans could see more ugly games like last Sunday, and that's a troubling thought for a team with playoff dreams. Now the big question hangs in the air: should Cincinnati actually make a move for Russell Wilson? Some reports suggest it might only take a 6th or 7th round draft pick to get him from the Giants. That's a low price for a former Super Bowl winner, but it's still a gamble on a 36-year-old quarterback who's coming off a benching. What do you think, Bengals Nation? Is Wilson worth that late-round pick, or should the team focus all its energy on fixing the offensive line and letting Browning fight through the growing pains? Share your thoughts in the comments, and keep the conversation going. That wraps up this update. The Bengals' next move could shape the rest of the season, and the clock is ticking.